Hello friend, welcome back to another video with your man Jen the Man, and today we're gonna focus on TV shows, specifically on Cobra Kai. So last week I was talking about Princess Diaries, right? So I was thinking, hey, what should I focus on this week? So Cobra Kai just came out on my newsfeed and it reminded me that, back in 2018 it came out on YouTube Red, but I didn't subscribe to it. So I think in 2019 it came into Netflix along with season 2. And season 3 I think just came out last year, if I'm not mistaken, or this year January. But I wasn't really on board with the train because I didn't have interest in it. But not until recently that I saw some of clips of the Karate Kid back on YouTube, and then that sort of like sparked my interest to get into the story, right? So I just binge watched all 3 seasons of Cobra Kai, and within 3 days, I finished it. Wow. You have 3 seasons. Each season there's like 10 episodes, and one episode is like 30 minutes. It's quite short actually, and finished quite soon. And so when I go on Twitter as well, I found out that season 4 they are in production as well. So can't wait for season 4, and I'm just gonna give my sort of review of Cobra Kai. I think just to start off with, currently we are still in MCO, and there is a lot of things that we still cannot do, but vaccines arrive in Malaysia as well. For production, it's still, we can't really do it until like March the 4th, right? So today I think it's gonna be the end of February soon, and next month I'm sort of have a whole new direction for this channel, and I'm just gonna close the month with this video, just mainly talking about movies and TV shows on Netflix, and just films that in general. And then the next month there is a lot more content coming up in terms of interviewing my friends and just getting out people who are in the creative industry, and just asking them about how they came to be. I think that's about it. There's nothing much going on this week in terms of the entertainment wise. In terms of TV shows, I don't really have any shows that I'm really watching at the moment. There are a lot on my list, but I just don't really have any interest to watch any of it, because mainly I watch documentaries a lot these days, and just playing a lot of games.
You serious?
So every time when I was eating lunch, and I'm just trying to find a show to watch, and always I would just go back to YouTube, just watching old videos again. But I'm still finding shows that are sometimes just a bit chill to watch, and something that is quite you can pass time with. And I'm still trying to find a show like that. And sometimes I just don't want to go into like shows that are so very deep, and it takes out a lot of time. Like let's say one episode is like 1 hour, and that's quite long already. So I'm trying to find like those shows that are 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and when you know it, you already watch the whole entire season, and you're just waiting for the next season to come. But I think TV shows is a little bit hard to follow because there are so many of them, and there are so many interesting ones. So I'm just trying to find like shows that I'm interested in. I just got recommended there's this show called Behind Her Eyes, so I'm just gonna I think check it out. I heard that it's quite interesting in terms of like the plot. There's a lot of twists and turns. So I think, but recently I just watched Cobra Kai, and let's just talk about it. So Cobra Kai is based off of from the Karate Kid. If you know that there is a part 1, part 2, part 3, and then there's one with Hilary Swank in it. That was back in the 1980s, and I haven't really watched it. I just finished Karate Kid Part 1 today, just to give a little bit of watching it back again, and it does give some news perspective into when you watch Cobra Kai, right? And just watching back the old movie again, it gives you like some context of like, oh okay, so this character at the end, so I understand why there is this like character arc that's going on, and I understand the characters a little bit more when I watch back the movie. So Karate Kid, I think if y'all don't know, Karate Kid Part 1, it was mainly on on this bully Johnny, and there is this new kid in town called Daniel. Daniel doesn't want to get beat up, so they just want to settle it in a tournament, karate tournament. And you have Johnny, who is the bully that's have a sensei, that's John Kreese. And then there is this for Daniel, his sensei is this janitor, I think, in Mr. Miyagi, in the place that he stays. So at the end of the day, Johnny lost, Daniel won, and that was the main story for part 1. Part 2, I think it was mainly on Daniel going to Japan to visit Mr. Miyagi's hometown, and there is this whole rivalry there as well. And at the end of the fight, I think it was Daniel versus this Japanese guy, I think Cho-san, if I'm not mistaken. There's a Japanese love interest there as well. So that's where and I think Daniel won at the end. So that was the part 2. Part 3, I don't really understand, don't really recall back what it was, but I think it's mainly on Daniel just going back to retain his his All Valley Championship again, the karate tournament that's back in part 1. So that was it for Karate Kid, just to give a backstory lah. So Cobra Kai is centered around Johnny. Johnny is the bully in part 1. It's 40 years later, just looking at Johnny's life, how is he and how's Daniel's life is. So Daniel, he is rich, he has a family, beautiful family, and he has a car company on his own. Whereas for Johnny, he's just an alcoholic, he has a mundane job, and he doesn't really have any sort of thing to look forward to in his life. So that's where Miguel came in. Miguel is like a new kid in town. They stay just opposite with each other, and but Miguel is being bullied in school. So so Johnny took him in, and they formed. Johnny brought back Cobra Kai again. So Cobra Kai is this dojo that John Kreese created back in the Karate Kid, and he has all these karate students in this Cobra Kai. So that's where Johnny came from in terms of being a bully there. It's mainly to show no mercy to your opponents or enemies. And how Cobra Kai was disbanded from the tournament is because in part 1, Cobra Kai was just being playing dirty, and being disqualified as well. So they were just disbanded from the tournament altogether. And for season 1, Johnny is trying to bring back Cobra Kai, and there is this still rivalry going on, but you get different perspective over the characters. So I think that's what I like about this Cobra Kai, right? It's just to giving you different perspective of the characters, being very complex. And I like just how every single character, there is character growth, there is character arc. The characters are not just one-noted, but every character has its own journey and has its own journeys end as well. It's really interesting to see how all these characters are being developed. So and one thing I like about this show is that it doesn't overdo all the cliches or the style of it. And I think the show knows, it doesn't take itself too serious as well. And I just like it's so fun and interesting and just very fresh in the way how the directors approach this show in terms of the Karate Kid universe as well. So I really like that. So season 1 was quite good in the sense of just reintroducing all the characters and also introducing new characters as well. It's mainly on teenage love drama. I think part 1 was also and part 2 in itself also is just focusing on all these teenage love drama, right? So this Cobra Kai is also mainly focusing on all these people going on high school, and then they have all these teenage love. The whole thing, how it develops is that Johnny has a kid, but his kid is not being loved by the father and mother, and so he's a very lonely person. But then he hates his father, so he wants to get back to his father by joining Daniel, and he got hired in Daniel's company, and working for a while he found out that Daniel is also doing karate, and that's where Daniel took Johnny and became his student. And then for Johnny itself, training Miguel and just going into the tournament, and that's where they found out that there is this friction going on, there's this competition that's still going on, rivalry after 40 years, right? It was Johnny's son versus Miguel. That was the final at the end of the season 1, and Johnny won. So that was the main part of it, and that leads to season 2. And so season 1 ends with a cliffhanger that John Kreese came back to Cobra Kai. So season 2 was just mainly focusing on the new characters and introducing all those new characters, and there's this like whole students coming in to Daniel's side and Johnny's side as well. So Daniel is Miyagi-Do. So Miyagi-Do is mainly on just where it originates from, which is from Mr. Miyagi. And then you have Cobra Kai, where Johnny is taking from John Kreese, and then now John Kreese is coming into the stage as well, and how that there is friction as well. And you learn more about John Kreese as well, and how his life is currently at the moment, and how Johnny is giving him a second chance. And you learn a little bit more about Johnny's past as well, and all those like students that are within the same gang. When he in Karate Kid, there is this like whole gang with Johnny is together with the other bullies as well. You catch up with them, and I think it's quite touching to see how all these people after the 40s, they sort of like didn't really respect, or they didn't really understand how all this came to be, but they were just coming from a place where they just wanting to get more confidence. They don't want to be nerds, they don't want to be someone who is getting bullied, so they join Cobra Kai so that they can learn self-defense. But sometimes some people, they just take it overboard as overconfidence, and they just can able to bully other people. So they give you like different perspective, and all these students that went through that, they were saying like how dare John Kreese sort of teach us all this and bring it out to the world. You cannot survive like that, because what John Kreese teaches was mainly because he was coming from the Vietnam War. So you get a little bit more about John Kreese, and season 3 they tackle more about John Kreese's past. But for season 2 it was mainly to just give some context, give some backstory to Johnny, and just expand his character a little bit more. On Daniel's side of it also, there is this whole rivalry going on, but just trying to find common ground. And I find like there is a lot very close moments where you see Johnny and Daniel, they were so close to being like they are able to reconcile their differences, but they just can't go over the next step. There is always something that's hindering them from being friends or something like that, right? There is also this sort of drama going on between the Cobra Kais and the Miyagi-Dos, and all these students that joining different things that's representing different values as well. And at the end of season 2, you have this big fight that gone between two of them in the school, and it ended with Miguel falling from 2 or 3 stories high and breaking his neck, breaking his back, and that was the end of the series. And lucky enough, who did that? It was Johnny's son. So he ran away. There's this girl that's fighting with Daniel's daughter, and that sort of became a scar for Daniel's daughter. So Daniel's daughter is part of the new cast, and she's just got trauma by that girl that was part of the Cobra Kai's. So there was this whole cat fight going on between them as well. You have John Kreese taking over the Cobra Kai's, and for Johnny, he lost everything. He lost his student, he lost his his love life as well, because now Miguel is in the hospital. So he sort of have a relationship with the mother, but that gone out of the drain because of this injury. He lost his dojo as well. He lost because John Kreese stole everything and turned all the students against him, and that was quite a very sad and awful sort of ending. But it sort of gives closure for Johnny, because Johnny soon realized that he has to do the right thing, and sometimes doing the right thing is not always good it's not always bad, but at the end of the day, it is the right thing to do. So for Johnny, he learns the lesson through what happened in Miguel, and that was the end of the season. And season 1 and season 2 just complements with each other, and it's the same sort of thing that they are expanding on all these complex characters. Don't overdo the story. They don't overdo in terms of the cliches. They don't take themselves too seriously, so they are aware of what they are doing, right? And so yeah, season 1 season 2 was quite enjoyable, and when it comes to season 3, everything just came together. The drama is even more. They are just trying to find out what happened, and just recovering from the big fight in season 2. So season 3 is mainly on them trying to recover. Robbie who is Johnny's son, just run away, and and John Chris is taking over, so he's recruiting all these new students, and just trying to get all these students that are strong to join his team. Those are weak, he just discard them just like that. And you have now Johnny wanting to team up with Daniel together to defeat John Chris. This was the end of season 3. Sorry by the way if I'm giving a lot of spoilers, but I should give like a spoiler warning at the start of it if y'all don't really know, but I'm just gonna give it there. But anyway, so that was season 3. It was just mainly for Daniel. He was feeling a little bit lost because ever since of what happened in season 2, it sort of affected not just the daughter, but affected the family and affected the business as well. So because of that, he has to go to Japan to win back the company or something like that, and he met the old cast of part 2. So he met them in Okinawa, and just trying to find some inspiration, find some confidence, and just learning a little bit about Mr. Miyagi as well. And when he came back, he sort of like have a new perspective. And for Johnny as well, he's coming up with a new dojo. I just like the chemistry between Miguel and Johnny. I think that is the main relationship that we are sort of focused on for this series. And I find that every time that Miguel and Johnny are together, their chemistry is the one that sells for this show. And I find that Miguel in season 2 is trying to become a little bit more like a bully, and season 1 as well, you sort of like see the traits of being a bully, and season 2 he's already mixing with those kind of people. And also because of the teenage love drama, and then it amplifies that. But after the injury, and Miguel just goes back to how he was in season 1, right? So I liked him in season 1, and I like him even more in season 3. And just the relationship, the chemistry between Johnny, that's the one that's really sells for this show lah. At the end of the day, it was a big fight in Daniel's house. So you have Cobra Kai versus the Miyagi-Dos, and same thing. There is a lot of character growth, character development. There are some characters that from a bully they became like good again, but you sort of see it coming. And there are a lot of characters that sort of you hated, but you sort of dislike, and you sort of like love them again. And some characters that you like turn into someone bad. So it's quite there's a lot of changes, there's a lot of twists. It's just trying to keep it fresh as well. So I really like the fact how this this show is trying to show that there's different perspective, there's different character paths. Just because of certain things that happen, it will lead them into certain path where you see them how they from good to bad or bad to good. So each person has this tendency to grow to just different path just because of that small little situation or small little thing that happened, right? So season 3, it all ends with Daniel and Johnny teaming up to beat John Kreese, and so we're just looking forward to season 4 to see what's gonna happen. And yeah, that's about it for season 1, season 2, season 3 for Cobra Kai. It's very, very fun, very, very interesting. I watched it just continuously because it was so engaging, and I just really love the characters, especially Miguel and Johnny. I think that's the one thing that sells for this show. And we have the Daniel story in Karate Kid, right? So I just don't really want to see so much focus on Daniel. I see like there's a lot of change in terms of like season 2, season 3, that's a lot more focus on Daniel's story, which I find you don't really need to, because at the end of the day, the story of this is Cobra Kai, right? So it's more towards Johnny's story. For season 4, I'm looking forward to it, and I hope that there are more seasons to come, because I think it just expands a little bit more on the lore, on the whole this Karate Kid universe. It will be interesting to see where the showrunners is gonna take this show to. There is no news from the other universe of the Karate Kid with Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith. That one, I quite like that show, but it's just that it's not really well represented, because that show, it focuses a lot more on kung fu rather than karate. So I mean, like, it already, you have a mismatch there already lah. So and there is no like sequel to that. It was just that one solo movie. But yeah, I think if y'all had the chance, just do go back and watch Karate Kid Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and tell me like what do you think about that show, right? Then go and watch Cobra Kai 1, 2, and 3 seasons, and and look forward to season 4. I think it's gonna come out next year, and I can't wait for it. So that concludes this month of February, and I think there are a lot more shows that I'm going to talk about in the future, especially on movies. Maybe giving you a list of the things that I like to watch in terms of movies, shows, and yeah, I think I'm gonna do that in the future. But next month, it was mainly to talk to friends that I know. Just want to start somewhere, right? Just want to start somewhere where I'm interviewing all these people that are in the creative industry, just to get a little bit of knowledge of where they've been, in terms of experience as well. And maybe if you want to go into the creative industry, and maybe you can take this sort of path if you ever see fit into your life as well, and maybe that could work, so I'm quite excited for next month. So I'm just getting my friends to talk to them, and just interviewing them. So I'm quite excited to see what's gonna happen. So that's that for next month. I'm also thinking of gaming as well. I don't know whether I should game on here, YouTube, or game on Twitch. I'm still deciding on that, but I feel like YouTube has been quite easy in terms of streaming, and in terms of game as well. I think Nintendo is sort of like a partner with YouTube, so I felt that there is some connection going on there, and I felt maybe gaming on YouTube, that's the best part to go. So I don't know. I'm still deciding whether should I I don't really know where my friends at, but I think mostly people are in either Facebook or YouTube, right? I don't think there are a lot of you who will be on Twitch. So yeah, I think I'll maybe start off with some gaming, just to get a little bit more content out there, so it's not just once a week, but there is also gaming episodes going on my channel as well. So yeah, I think there are a lot more positives coming out. There's definitely a lot more challenges as well. I think it took me like just 1 or 2 days more just to get this video going, because there is a lot of just challenges like into editing the video, and also coming up with just talking towards the camera. There's also a challenge there as well. Just 2 months only, and I've only done 7 videos so far, 8 videos. So you know, there's a long way to go, and I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. But hopefully I'll just keep everything in schedule. But I mean, coming from not producing videos last year to, you know, just constantly every week doing videos at the moment, it's definitely something that to be proud of. So I'm actually quite proud that I'm able to do it every week, still have the interest, still have the drive, and but although maybe there's some challenge on the day itself just coming out with the video, but I feel like you know, after doing it, you know, after editing, after uploading it, I always feel great, you know. And I just felt that I need to do this, you know. Quite excited for the future, you know, just planning out different things that is gonna happen for the channel, and you know, introducing gaming as well into the channel will be a very interesting thing. There's definitely growth, yeah, and I think it all comes down to whether I can manage it or not. So far I think with 2 months gone and the third month coming up, yeah, I think definitely it's manageable, so I'll see what I can do. But you know, thank you for everyone that you know, follows me throughout this journey, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. You know, increase the views for me, you know, maybe share it out, or but yeah, I mean, I've like I said for the past few videos, like, you know, at the end of the day, I don't really sort of care for views or like so many subscribers. At the end of the day, it's all about my interest and my passion for doing YouTube is because to improve for myself, and you know, maybe it's sort of like a conversation, you know, conversation with you, spending time with you, just chilling with you guys. And yeah, I think it's something that I like to do, and also it's something that I wish to put it out there so that, you know, there's this like whole conversation going on, and definitely Malaysia needs more of that, right? And I see, like, you know, it's a different thing from what other you know, YouTubers or people that are doing, just to be someone there talking to you, you know, during this challenging time as well, during COVID. So at least I'll be able to, you know, add like half an hour into your life every week, you know, just, yeah, I mean, if I could help a bit, you know. And I could help myself as well by doing this. So yeah, I'm just gonna stop talking there. I think I've been quite long-winded doing all of this in one take. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Like and subscribe. Join me back again next week, where I'll be interviewing my friend, and yeah, new content coming up next week. I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, bye bye.